Over 1 year ago today, Pitaya the Gossifleur made her journey across the Galar region to beat Pokemon Shield without using items. However, despite being max level, equipped with egg moves, and trained by the great Master Mustard, Lil Pitaya's journey ended at the very last stop, against Champion Leon. Leon, who was equipped with 5 Pokemon that resisted grass, was too much for Pitaya to handle. It is now up to Dandy the Eldegoss to avenge his sister. Eldegoss can be described in one phrase: Gossifleur with better stats. Eldegoss has a 460 base stat total, with 60 HP, 90 defense, and 120 special defense. Eldegoss is very defensive. 50 attack versus 80 special attack means we'll be obviously using a special set. And lastly, our 60 speed means we will have decent speed. We will not be outspeeding a Dragapult, but it's a big improvement against Gossifleur, whose base speed made her slower than Snorlax. The moves Eldegoss gets by level up are almost the exact same as Gossifleur, with 2 exceptions: Cotton Spore and Cotton Guard. Cotton Spore might not be seeing any use, but I'll definitely be using Cotton Guard. Cotton Guard, which got a ton of use when I used it on Wooloo, raises the user's defense by 3 stages. That means we can max out Dandy's defense with only 2 uses. By TM, again, Eldegoss is locked into using grass and normal attacks. And Power Puff. Of these moves, I see Energy Ball as a definite pickup. Oh, and ignore Giga Drain. It's only post game. Time for the rules. I can only use Eldegoss in battle. No items in battle, only held items outside combat are allowed. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. Dandy, just like Pitaya, began his journey as a Gossifleur, since I have no way to give myself a level 1 Eldegoss. Dandy is bashful nature, so neutral stat gains, with the Cotton Down ability. Cotton Down makes it so every hit lowers the speed of every other Pokemon on the field. Mechanically, Dandy and Pitaya are from the same family. Thus, Dandy is blessed with the egg moves Growth and Sleep Powder. I had Dandy trained up to level 9 before challenging Hop. We started by putting Wooloo to sleep, before setting up 2 growths. This made Wooloo a 2 KO with Rapid Spin. Hop then sent out Squirrel Bunny, who still outsped Dandy with +2 speed. It went straight for Ember, which took Dandy straight to below half health. Our Rapid Spin only took Squirrel Bunny to just above half health. Thankfully, Cotton Down allowed us to outspeed Squirrel Bunny, who survived our next Rapid Spin in red health. Squirrel Bunny, for some reason, decided to use Tackle, which Dandy survived with 7 HP, so it went down the next turn. Last is Rookity, who was thankfully a one-shot. We can now head to the wall area, where I trained up Dandy some more before attending the opening ceremony. Following the ceremony is a battle with Hop. Dandy was now holding the Silk Scarf to boost the power of his Rapid Spin. We again started putting Wooloo to sleep, but this time we only set up 1 growth. 2 Rapid Spins took Wooloo to red health, but then it woke up. With Wooloo in red health, Hop will use his potion, so I had Dandy put Wooloo back to sleep, before going for 2 more growths. 1 more Rapid Spin finished off Wooloo. With Dandy at +3 speed, Squirrel Bunny decided to go for Quick Attack, but it was a 2 KO. Last is Rookity, who this time survived Rapid Spin, so Dandy was taking a 10 HP with Peck before taking out Rookity. We can now head to Galar Mine, where we have to battle Bead. Dandy takes pretty big damage from Solosis' Confusion, so we had to put it to sleep. We then set up 3 growths before one-shotting it with Rapid Spin. Bead's Gothita still outsped Dandy with +1 speed, so Dandy got hit with Tickle, lowering his attack to +2 before we could put Gothita to sleep. We then set up 1 growth, raising our attack back to +3, before taking out Gothita with 2 Rapid Spins. Last is Atenna, who was a one-shot with Razor Leaf. Yes, finally a grass move. Too bad our next opponent resists grass. It's time for the first gym. Unlike Pitaya, who had to struggle with singing growth in order to beat members of her own species, Dandy has the ability to evolve. However, I had to be careful. Dandy evolves at level 20, and with 0 badges, Dandy, a traded Pokemon, will become disobedient at level 21. With Dandy now evolved, Milo's lead Gossifleur could barely do any damage as we set at full growths. It was then a one-shot with Round. Last is Milo's own Eldegoss. It was a 2-KO with Max Strike. With our first badge acquired, we have to do another battle with Hop. As usual, we put Wooloo to sleep, but we only got 2 growths before it woke up. It then just set up Defense Curl, but we now only had special attacks, so it was a one-shot with Magical Leaf. Corvisquire then came out, and it outsped, doing a little damage with Peck. It survived Round, but then Hop used the Super Potion. However, that was pointless, because our next round got a crit, which one-shot Corvisquire. Last was Reboot, who outsped and used Double Kick. This caused 2 rounds of Cotton down. Reboot then survived Round, but the speed drop allowed Danny to go first the next turn and finish off Reboot. It's off to the next gym, but I don't think we need to go over this one. Next up is Beat and Galar Mine number 2. For this battle, I had Dandy go straight for Magical Leaf, which Solosis survived on a quarter, so I had Dandy then put Solosis to sleep and set up one growth, before finishing off Solosis. Gothita survived Magical Leaf in red health, so Dandy got taken to half off with Psyshock and Bede used his Super Potion. However, Dandy was faster, so 2 more Magical Leafs took out Gothita. Hatenna was a crit one-shot, and last is Ponyta. Ponyta outsped, but it only went for a weak confusion, so it went down to 2 Magical Leaves. Time to head back to Motostoke, where we have to battle Morning. Morning leaves with Croagunk, a poison type, so I had Dandy put Croagunk to sleep. We only went for 2 growths before going for a single Rapid Spin. Yeah, for this battle, I had to swap out Round for Rapid Spin. Croagunk then woke up, but its Venoshock did not do that much damage. It went down to 1 more Rapid Spin. Scraggy survived Magical Leaf, so we took some damage with Headbutt, but this also caused Marnie to use her Super Potion, so we used this opportunity to use 1 more Rapid Spin, before finishing off Scraggy with Magical Leaf. Last is Morpeko, the reason we needed Rapid Spin. At plus 3 speed, Dandy went first and took Morpeko straight to red health, as Morpeko's bite took Dandy to a quarter. Marnie already used her 1 potion, so Morpeko went down the next turn. On to the 3rd gym, which was one of the biggest struggles Petalia had to deal with. With low speed and attack power, Petalia not only had to be a very high level, but rely on Facade. Facade doubles in power when the user is burned, poisoned, or paralyzed. However, that does not translate to Dynamax, so Petalia had to be able to one-shot a Gigantamax and a Scorch with Facade. For Dandy though, it only took it to level 34, because now Dandy has Hyper Voice, which I used to replace Magical Leaf. On the first turn, Ninetales went for Will-O-Wisp, as I had Dandy put Ninetales to sleep. We were then able to set up 3 growths and 1 Rapid Spin, before Ninetales woke up. Dandy has pretty good special defense, so he tanks Ember pretty well. He also now outsped, so we were able to put Ninetales back to sleep. However, we only got 1 more Rapid Spin before Ninetales woke up, and used Fire Spin. Oh, and by the way, we're holding leftovers to negate the burn damage. To finish our setup, we had to put Ninetales back to sleep and set up 2 more growths. Dandy was now at 12 HP from Fire Spin damage. However, Ninetales was a one-shot with Hyper Voice. With plus 2 speed, we outsped Arcanine, who was also a one-shot. Last is Cinescorch. It all relied on this, but then Max Strike got a crit. It probably didn't matter though. We can now head to Hammerlock, where we can head west to Stone Side, where we have to battle Hop. Hop's lead Crimeret outsped, and took Dandy to almost half health with a single pluck, but we put it to sleep. We then set up only 1 growth before using Hyper Voice. Crimeret survived Hyper Voice with the 3rd, so we went for a 2nd growth before finishing off Crimeret with Rapid Spin. Reboot is next, and it survived Hyper Voice, but it only went for Double Kick. Hop then used his Super Potion, but it didn't heal Reboot to full health, so 1 more Hyper Voice finished off Reboot. Toxel was a one-shot, and last is Silicobra, who was also a one-shot. On to the 4th gym. Since this was the Ghost Gym, we could not use Rapid Spin for speed control. Instead, I replaced Rapid Spin with the Energy Ball, so we had something that actually hit Ghost types. Against Yamask, we had to put it to sleep instead of growth. When awake, Yamask could barely do any damage, so we were able to set up 4 growths before one-shotting Yamask. Next is Mimikyu, and to get past its disguise ability, I had Dandy put Mimikyu to sleep. This way, we could get in 2 hits without taking any damage. Crystala was an easy one-shot, and last is Gengar, who is part poison type. This means max overgrowth is resisted. Gengar also outspeeds. Its max ooze only took Dandy to above half health, but max ooze gave Gengar a special attack boost. It also activated Calm Down. This is good, because Gengar survived max overgrowth at below quarter. However, because of the speed drop, Dandy now outsped Gengar and finished it off. Following the gym is the Battle of Bede. Against Duosion, we set up 2 growths, as Duosion set up Light Screen and used Psyshock. Its Psyshock did more damage than expected, so I had Dandy put Duosion to sleep, before setting up a 3rd growth. It was a one-shot with Energy Ball, as was Hatchrim, Gothorita, and Ponyta. On to the 5th gym. Opal leads with Weezing, a poison type with Sludge. I decided to have Dandy use Sleep Powder, which he missed twice in a row, causing Weezing to take Dandy to below half health. Thankfully, we had leftovers, and our 3rd Sleep Powder landed. We then set up 3 growths before Weezing woke up. However, we already got the defense buff from Opal, so Sludge was not that scary anymore. Weezing was a one-shot with Hyper Voice. Togekiss, though, survived Hyper Voice at half health, allowing it to use a pretty strong Air Slash. However, we then got the attack boost from Opal, so Togekiss went down the next turn. With now plus 5 special attack, Mawile was a one-shot and so was Alcremie. We can now head back to Hammerlock, where we can't progress before battling Hop. Hop now has Cinderace with Power Ball, so I trained up Dandy. With Gross to boost our special attack, I decided getting more health was the best strategy. To do this, I had Dandy to continuously take out Quagsires, who give 2 HP EVs each. We also did some raids for EXP candies, until Dandy was level 52. At level 52, Dandy got access to Cotton Guard. To make room for it though, I got rid of Sleep Powder. For the moment. Against Trevenant, we start by setting up 2 Cotton Guards, as Trevenant's Shadow Claw did practically nothing thanks to leftovers. We could now safely set up 4 growths, which was enough to one-shot Trevenant. Next is Cinderace, whose Power Ball only did a scratch as we one-shot with Hyper Voice. Beatmore was also a one-shot, as was Snorlax and Volton. Time for the 6th gem. Melanie leads with Frostmoth, who resists grass and has 2 super effective moves. This meant we had to relearn Sleep Powder, which landed the first turn. We were then able to set up 3 growths before Frostmoth woke up, but it just decided to set up Hail. I decided to put Frostmoth back to sleep, but we only got 1 more growth, as Frostmoth woke up and hit Dandy with a Hail boosted Icy Wind, which got a crit, taking Dandy to almost half health. It also dropped his speed. Calm Down lowered Frostmoth's speed, so it didn't matter here. We put Frostmoth back to sleep, and this time, we were able to set up a 5th growth, and a Cotton Guard. By the time Frostmoth woke up, the hail ended, so it just reset the hail. It was then a one-shot with Energy Ball. Darmanitan is next, and it outsped, but our Cotton Guard allowed us to tank an Icicle Crash. It was a one-shot, as was Ice Cube. But last is Lapras. Lapras went first, and went for GMAX Resonance, which Dandy survived at 18 HP, allowing him to one-shot Lapras with max overgrowth. With the 6th batch acquired, we're forced into another Hop battle. This one is more dangerous than the last. We're in permanent hail, so leftovers only just negates the hail damage. And Hop now has Corviknight, who quad resists grass moves. Hop leads with Double, who outsped and did some damage with Takedown, but we put it to sleep. We first set up our 2 Con Guards, before going for growth. We had to reset the sleep once, but our growths for some reason locked Double into using Growl and Defense Curl. We set up 4 growths in total, before one-shotting Double. Cinderace's Power Ball still only did a scratch, so it was a one-shot with Energy Ball. Corviknight survived Energy Ball in green health, but we got the special defense drop. Corviknight's Pluck also did barely anything thanks to Cotton Guard. This meant we could easily take out Corviknight the next turn. Lastly, Snorlax and Recursion, who were both just easy one-shots. We can now head to round 9 and into our next battle of Marnie. As per usual with this battle, I forgot to heal, but we had leftovers and landed our Sleep Powder. We then set up 2 Groves and 1 Cotton Guard before one-shotting Life Power with Energy Ball. Toxicroak was next, and it went for Swagger. It also survived Energy Ball with low yellow health. This caused Marnie to use her Hyper Potion. However, Dandy did hit himself a couple times, so Dandy was at a third of his health before snapping out of confusion and finishing off Toxicroak. Scrafty was the easy one-shot, and last is Morpeko. Morpeko outsped, but only went for Torment, so it was also an easy one-shot. Time for the 7th gym. Dandy outsped Scrafty, so he put it to sleep and immediately set up 2 Cotton Guards. We then set up 2 Groves before one-shotting Scrafty and Malamar. Against Obstagoon, we put it to sleep and set up 2 more Groves before taking it out. The reason for this was because last is Skuntank, who we thankfully one-shot. On to the final gym. At this point, Pattaya was at level 100, but thankfully, things were looking up for Dandy. Flygon started the battle with a Thunder Punch against Magikarp. This allowed Dandy to set up Cotton Guard, before being hit by Gigalith's Body Press, which got a crit. We then set up 2 Groves, as Flygon and Gigalith took Dandy to below half health. Flygon was a one-shot with Energy Ball, as was Sandaconda. Last is Duraludon. Duraludon outsped, but I had Dandy use a Max Guard to get some leftovers recovery. Duraludon then used Max Rockfall, which activated Cotton Down, before Dandy took out Gigalith with Max Overgrowth to set up Grassy Terrain. Dandy now outsped Duraludon, and took Duraludon to half health with Max Overgrowth. Duraludon then went for Max Knuckle, which did barely any damage. The Dynamax was now over, but our Energy Ball was still strong enough to finish off Duraludon. We can now head to Winden to attend the semifinals, where our first opponent is Marnie. Liepard went first and used Snarl, as Dandy set up Cotton Guard. Liepard then used Torment as Dandy used Growth. Torment prevents us from using the same move twice in a row. However, Liepard was a one-shot with Energy Ball. Against Toxicroak, I had Dandy use the second Growth, as Toxicroak missed its Swagger. It was then a one-shot with Hyper Voice. Scrafty was a one-shot with Energy Ball. Morpeko outsped, but it did very little damage before he one-shot it. And last is Grimmsnarl, who was a one-shot with Max Overgrowth. Next up is Hop. Both Double and Dandy started by setting up Cotton Guards. Double then started to spam Body Slam, as we set up a second Cotton Guard before setting up 4 Groves. Double was a one-shot with Energy Ball. Corviknight survived Hyper Voice with half health, but it only used Scary Face. We then got hit with Drill Peck, but it did barely any damage, as we took out Corviknight. Pikachu and Snorlax were both straight one-shots, and last is Cinderace, who outsped, but its max airstreams did almost nothing as we one-shot it. We now have to Skeletor's Tower, where we have to battle Oleana. The battle starts with a lot of setting up. Frostlass missed its Will-O-Wisp, but then it started setting up double teams as we went for 3 Groves. Frostlass then went for a second Will-O-Wisp, which this time landed, but was negated by our Rossberry. Our Energy Ball then missed. This allowed Frostlass to go for a third Will-O-Wisp, as we missed our second Energy Ball. Frostlass then went for a third double team, but our Energy Ball finally landed and one-shot Frostlass. Slazzle's next, and it took Dandy to below half health with Venoshock before it was a one-shot. Thankfully, Dandy outsped Serena and Milotic, so we didn't lose any more health, except for burn damage, as Oleana sent out Garbodor, who was a one-shot with Max Strike. The finals can now begin, but first is a battle with Bede. We set up 1 Cotton Guard and 2 Groves against Mawile, before one-shotting it and the rest of Bede's team. On to Nessa. Glispa went first, and went for first impression, taking Dandy straight to a third of his health as we set up Cotton Guard. We then went for growth 2 times before one-shotting Galeespot with Energy Ball. We were not holding an item because I forgot to equip one after the Oleana fight. It really didn't matter though, since the rest of Nessa's team were all one-shots. Next is Alistair. This battle was considerably harder than Nessa, because Alistair has Chandelure. For the first time in a while, we had to reteach Dandy Sleep Powder. This way, we could put Dusk Noir to sleep instead of one growth. Dusk Noir then survived Energy Ball and woke up, so we got him with Rock Tomb, lowering our speed. Alistair then used his 4-star, as we put Dusk Noir back to sleep. We set up one more growth, which now caused Energy Ball to one-shot Dusk Noir. This sent out Chandelure, who outsped and did big damage with Mystical Fire, which also lowered Dandy's special attack. Thankfully, our Sleep Powder landed. We had to put Chandelure to sleep in order to take it out with 2 Energy Balls. We then put Poltergeist to sleep, so we could raise our special attack back to +2 before one-shotting it and Cursola. Last is Gengar, who outsped, but its max use didn't do that much damage, so even after a second one with the boosted special attack, we had enough health to take out Gengar with 2 max overgrowths. Last is Raihan. Raihan leads with a Torkoal with Drought. This means growth increases our stats 2 times each turn. We did get hit with Yawn and Lava Plume, but we had a Chester Berry to negate the sleep. With our special attack at +4, Torkoal, Turtonator, and Flygon were all one-shots. Goodra survived Hyper Voice, which caused Raihan to use his 4-star. However, 2 more Hyper Voices took out Goodra. Last is Duraludon. Duraludon outsped, but went for its weak Max Knuckle, which activated Calm Down. So Duraludon went down the back-to-back Max Overgrowths. We now have to go about Chairman Rose, but all his Pokemon resist Grass and Normal. I had to implement a strategy I was saving. You see, technically, Eldegoss has a 4th move type it can learn. Fire. How? Sunny Day and Weather Ball. We started the battle by setting up Sunny Day, as the Scavalier's Mega Horn took Dandy straight to 31 HP. Thankfully, we were holding leftovers. We then one-shot a Scavalier and Ferrothorn with Weather Ball. Against Berserker though, we put it to sleep a set of growth. It then immediately woke up and took Dandy straight to 10 HP with Iron Head. Our harsh sunlight then ended, so we had to put Berserker back to sleep to reset Sunny Day. It was a one-shot with Weather Ball. Kling Kling outsped Dandy, but it missed its gear grind, so it was a one-shot, and last is Kaparaja, who was a one-shot with Max Flare. Time for Eternatus. Eternatus outsped and went straight for Flamethrower, which took Dandy to almost half health. We then missed our first Sleep Powder, but thanks to Calm Down, we got a second chance and landed our Sleep Powder. We set up one growth, before Eternatus woke up and used Dragon Pulse, which Dandy survived. I then decided to put Eternatus back to sleep. We set up 2 more growths, but our Energy Ball was still not doing that much damage. I wanted to set up more, but it was too risky. We took out Eternatus with a total of 5 Energy Balls. Against Eternatus, we just spammed Sleep Powder. With a 4 times resistant Energy Ball, we were doing nothing to it. Thankfully, we only got hit once, unlike Hop, who lost Double and Snorlax. It took 8 turns to take out Eternatus. All that is left is him. The Run-Ender himself, Champion Leon. Against Aegislash, we went straight for Sleep Powder, which bypassed King Shield. We then set up 3 growths before Aegislash woke up and used Flash Cannon. We just put it back to sleep. After 6 growths, we one-shot Aegislash with Energy Ball. Next is Rhyperior, who we need to be careful with because of Mega Horn and Heat Crash. I decided to put it to sleep and have Dandy set up 2 Con Guards. Rhyperior was of course a one-shot. Dragapult outsped Dandy, but we survived Flamethrower and one-shot it. Hectorus also outsped, but thanks to Con Guard, we survived Outrage with 18 HP. It was a one-shot and next is Rillaboom, who surprisingly outsped, but it just tried to use Endeavor, so we one-shot it. Last is Charizard, who, you guessed it, outsped. At level 78, we still have plenty of chances to beat Leon though. And surprisingly, it didn't take us that many levels. At level 85, we were not only able to set up 6 growths against Aegislash, but our 2 Con Guards as well. This meant after we took out Aegislash, we could go straight to taking out Rhyperior. We were now almost at full health for Dragapult, who still outsped and used Flamethrower, but it didn't do that much damage as we took it out. Haxor's Outrage again didn't do that much damage, so we were still in green health for Rillaboom. At level 85, Dandy finally outsped Rillaboom, who was again a one-shot, so we're back to Charizard. Charizard was still faster, and its max Airstream took Dandy to below half health. Dandy's max Overgrowth then took Charizard to only half health. Charizard then the next turn went only for G-Max Wildfire, which Dandy survived with 62 HP, allowing him to finish off Charizard. We beat Pokemon Shield with only Eldegoss. We have avenged Battalion the Gossifleur. Now, I don't usually do videos with narratives like this, but if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments.